Okay, this is the most important concept you have to understand if you are on any personal development, spiritual growth journey, anything like that. It's actually taken me so long to figure out how to explain this concept and in a way that's easily understood. It's a way to explain my own personal journey, how I help my clients, and just like what happens in the work. I'm talking about energetic alignment, and if you've ever heard about alignment or energetic alignment and you don't know what that is, it's essentially this idea of you showing up in the world with your specific self, who you are, your values, your intentions, the reason why you want to show up to something. And then there's everything that you can do, like all the different paths that you can take in life and the energy that holds. And when that aligns with who you are, it creates a match. Let me explain. So when I was growing up, I had really bad depression and anxiety. It was just like perfectionistic, really just didn't know who I was. You can imagine it created a lot of problems for me, not just in my relationship with myself, but my relationships with other people, my career, my education, like all the things. But fast forward to now, where I'm way more satisfied in my life, I'm much more happier with myself, feel so much more grounded in who I am and what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. The things that change when I look at hindsight is energetic alignment. Let me show you how this works. Okay, so let's say that this is you, and you are kind of the center of your own universe, right? That's your reality, and you emit this special sparkle that is your aura, your intentions, your energy. Now, when you go through life, there are, let's say, all these different paths that you can take, right? And this is going to expand all around you. All these decisions that you're trying to make, who you should date, what school you should go to, what career you should take, what you should wear, like all these different decisions that you have to make in a day. Now, the path of energetic alignment is kind of this idea that in these decisions, there's going to be something, maybe even multiple things that light you up, that is going to be the path of least resistance. This is going to be like what you're naturally drawn to, what hobbies, maybe you're artistic, maybe you're creative, and going down a creative path in your career is going to be more aligned versus being an engineer or a mathematician, for example, or whatever else that's more statistical, analytical, structured, working a 9-to-5 is going to be down here. Once you take a path, right, then it opens up the next series of pathways, all the rest of the decisions. These lines suck, I'm sorry about that, but it opens up this whole other layer, right? And the issue that we start to come across is that in life, through conditioning, through society, through everything, you don't necessarily see the path that lights you up the most and feel like you can actually follow it. You start to believe, okay, well, maybe you can't make money as a content creator or as an artist or whatever, and you should go down this like traditional route where maybe you go and become a doctor. Okay, so let's say that you took this route. Then you would just be open to like these paths, right? These are the paths that you might actually be able to see, but those are not the ones that light you up. And you think that in order to do what you want to do, right, it's not possible. You have to go all the way around here. Now, when I started college, one of the required classes was Writing 150, and this was like the basic writing class that everybody had to take. And it was an extremely different experience from Writing 340, which is the class that you take as a junior or senior. I struggled so hard in Writing 150. It was the worst time ever. I was pulling all-nighters within the first week of college trying to get out like a first draft of the first paper. Whereas in Writing 340, I went into it with like a total fuck it mindset. I'm just gonna be myself, just gonna do like not even my best work, but just get it done. And it was one of the easiest A's I've ever gotten in college. And that's compared to like a hip hop class that I took where the final was literally a group photo of us because the professor forgot to even show up to the final. So here's what changed in between those years. Since I was little, I knew what this path was for myself of energetic alignment, of what lit me up, right? Things like art, things like connecting, things like feeling my feelings, things like having fun. But I was taught that to be successful in this world, I had to try really hard, work all the time, not really be myself, listen to other people, listen to my teachers and whatnot. So instead of taking my path that might have like looked like this, because life's not linear and you can go kind of in a snake, right? Or even go in this general vicinity. Instead of doing that, what I was doing was I was choosing, okay, let me go here. And then, these are the options that I can see if I want to be successful, right? Then, like, if money is most important or prestige is most important, then I have to, well, these are my only school options, or these are my only career options, these are my friends that I have to hang out with, these are the classes that I have to take. And then, okay, let's say I chose down this path. Okay, well, now that I've done this, well, I need to act like this, I need to do this, blah, 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 right? And you can see that now my path is going to go down all the way over here. This is so far away from my center, from my soul essence, from who I really am, right? It's so far away from the path that I'm meant to take. This explains me here at writing 340, because remember, each ring here isn't just like, well, this is just your center. You kind of move along with it. So me taking writing 150 as a freshman, I was down here super disconnected from what my soul essence is, from what my, true self really wanted, and from who I was, that I didn't know how to go about really living my life. So when I was showing up for writing 150 to go write a paper, I wasn't showing up as my younger self, my true self that knew like what I wanted to write about, that loved creative writing, that, was just happy to be here in life. I was showing up as a version of myself that hated my body, that had disordered eating issues, that was anxious, that was depressed, that felt like life was completely meaningless, that was harboring this secret that I had been sexually assaulted, and wasn't dealing with any of that trauma. And on top of that, that led me to show up to other people, to this class, in a way where I was thinking, how can I get the A, right? What do I have to write? How do I want to write? What points do I have to make to get the A, to show that I'm a good writer? And also, what do I think my professor wants to see? What do I think is going to make her think that I am good at writing? It's like that people pleasing / trying to manipulate other people to like you. Like if you were dating, what can you say or how should you act in order for somebody to like you back? Yeah, it's that game. And it's not as easy as being yourself, right? Because when you might hear that, you might think, well, why didn't you just be yourself? Why didn't you just worry about who you really were? Well, because I had all these layers of conditioning, right, from before that act as almost these barriers to my true self. So I couldn't really hear my intuition. I was so disconnected from it. I didn't even know what I really wanted because I couldn't hear it. It was so far out. It's like if I was screaming inside, my soul was screaming at me to do something, it was barely even registering as a whisper. It was barely even registering as a sound frequency wave. So over those years between being a freshman and then being a senior was that I was peeling back these layers of conditioning. I started saying, fuck it. I don't care about what other people think. I don't care what grade I get. I need to take care of myself, right? I was suffering. I wasn't sleeping. I was sick all the time. I was in terrible relationships. I felt so disconnected from my friends, from my family, all the things. So I was like, fuck it. Let me just be myself. In this way, right? Let me actually go to bed instead of staying up and pulling all-nighters. Let me ask for help. Let me see if my friends want to hang out. Let me prioritize that over working more, studying more, whatever. And slowly, I started to, move closer to my center self, my soul whispers. Now, this drawing is super chaotic, but this is what I mean when I say coming back home to yourself, because you can't go down this path that your soul was meant to go down, right? You can't see how you're supposed to go through here, or even these directions over here can all take you kind of towards where you're meant to go and be who you want to be that natural expression of yourself. If you're, starting all the way down here and you continue going down the path that's not meant for you. And honestly, what this also looks like, because we see all these decisions, right, that you could have made here. Well, so now it starts to go more laterally, which explains why maybe you feel like you're staying in the same place. Maybe you feel like you're taking a step back, because you're not taking a step back in terms of where you're meant to go, but you're taking a step towards where you're supposed to be, where you are meant to be, who you really are, where you really want to go in your soul. And so you kind of start moving laterally and make maybe this decision, which allows you to then see these options here, right? So then you can move over here now, and then maybe you see these options now, and then you move over here now, and then now you can really hear where you are, who you really are, what you really want, how to get there, and decide from there what resonates with you and go down this path of energetic alignment. Not gonna lie, that drawing was way better in my head than it did on paper. But I hope now you understand more about why you don't feel like yourself, why you don't even really know what that means, why it's so hard for you to listen to your intuition. And also know the work to get there. It's every time I mention doing the inner work, doing the hard work, And the work that I do with my clients, this is it. It's making those decisions to come back home to yourself, to follow those soul whispers so that you can live the life that you are meant to live. Live in a way that is freeing to you, that makes you feel alive, that makes you feel peaceful and grounded in yourself and the world and other people. And when you're able to do that, it honestly lights you up. It changes your entire energetic frequency, the way that you show up for things, the way that you show up for yourself, the way you treat people, the way you treat yourself, the way you think about yourself and other people and the world around you. It's so hard to know how that really feels because so often most of us don't even remember how that feels. It's like when we were a kid, and even then, like, it might have been even younger than that. But there are always pockets in the moments of life that give you this opportunity to decide what is in alignment with you. What is it that you are actually drawn to? And one of the first things that I noticed for myself as I went down this path of energetic alignment was finding people who were more closer to that center, who were themselves. That came in the form of therapy, in the form of coaching, and hypnosis and spirituality. It came in the form of friends who just seemed to be so grounded and calm in who they are and how their life was going, who just could, things could happen and they were just like, yeah, this happened, but I, cried it out, I felt my feelings and I'm moving on, like this is what I'm doing. It also came in the form of distancing myself from the voices of my parents, from people or relationships that were not energetically aligned with me, who were holding me back in that way, who I didn't feel like I could be myself with. It came in the form of actually critically asking myself, what is it that I truly want? Do I really care if I have like 1 billion friends? Do I really care if I have $1 billion? Do I really care if I have this prestigious looking car or outfit or whatever? And what was the need behind that? What was the intention behind it? And how can I give that to myself now? It came in the form of desire and curiosity. Why did I feel like rewatching the entire season of Avatar: The Last Airbender again? Well, because you know what? I was feeling really down, and there was a quote by Uncle Iroh where he tells you that in the darkness, hope is something that you give yourself. And that was a message I needed to hear. Why did I feel like going for a walk randomly before I started work? Well, because I needed to ground myself, and because my brain felt like constipated from not being able to create ideas and all these things, and going out for a walk cleared my mind, helped me be more present, and now it all flowed. It's gonna be an investment in your time. It's gonna be an investment in yourself. It's gonna be an investment financially for you to do this work to get support. But if you're gonna be stressed anyways, be spending your money and wondering if you're wasting your time, might as well put those efforts into the path you want to take instead of the path that you don't want to go down. Like when you don't like the way that you're living right now, but you're telling yourself you don't know how to change and using that as an excuse to not change. I wish it wasn't that dramatic, but that's literally how it actually feels. So if you're down to do this work, if your soul is yearning to be seen, to be held, to be witnessed in this way and come back home to yourself, you can get started and work with me right now. Just go to the link in my bio, book a consultation with me. If you want more information on how it works or see what other people have been able to create, that's on my site too. And start living with more ease, peace, and freedom in your life. You deserve it and you can do it. All right, my beautiful souls, thank you for sticking with me through this entire example, and I will see you in the next video.